The Senate has urged the federal government to investigate the recent devastating flood in Mokwa, Niger State, and similar flooding incidents across the country as part of efforts to strengthen Nigeria's disaster preparedness and response system. The resolution followed a motions moved by the Senator Peter Gia of Niger South and co-sponsored by over 20 senators during the Tuesday's plenary session. Senator Gia told the chamber that the flood, which struck Mokwa on May the 29th and 30th after heavy rainfall, caused severe damage to homes, farmlands, and livelihoods in the area. In supporting the motion, Senator Victor Ume of Anambra Central described the incident as a monumental tragedy that highlights the urgent need for effective flood control infrastructure nationwide. Presiding over the session, Deputy Senate President Jibrin Baru expressed the Senate's condolences to the government and people of Niger State over the loss of lives and property. The Senate subsequently observed a minute silence in honor of those who perished in the disaster and called for sustainable flood mitigation measures, including the establishment of functional early warning systems to prevent the future occurrences.
Is concerned that despite the warnings, the measures put in place by the relevant MDAs to foresaw the occurrence or mitigate the devastating impact of the flood, especially in the affected communities, was not significantly fed. The Senate therefore observes that the federal government responded and intervened through the visit of the Vice President, the National Emergency Agency, Niger State Emergency Management Agency, and other relevant agencies of government, as well as NGOs and traditional rulers, through the directive of the HNUP and other well-meaning Nigerians responded by providing immediate relief materials. However, due to the magnitude of the disaster and the massive casualties recorded, the resources provided has been overwhelmed. Hence, the need to scale up intervention measures to alleviate the sufferings and the hardships faced by the affected victims.
Money in dredging our waterways will continue to experience flooding that will ravage communities, destroy farmlands, and we will be caught napping again. So I want to use my contribution to thank NIMET for sending out these warnings. But our government must take very serious action in dredging our waterways.
This motion, we all heard about what happened, and we all sympathize with the people, with the governor, and the entire people of Niger State, and also extend our condolences to the families of those who lost their lives. We now get...
The Senate for the second time extended the implementation of the capital component of the 2024 budget to December 31st, 2025. The Red Chamber made the resolution during the plenary on Tuesday, following the amendment of the appropriation bill requesting an extension. The Deputy Senate President, Baru Jibrin, who presided over the plenary, announced the extension of the appropriation bill following its first, second, and third reading expeditious passage. The appropriation bill was considered at the Senate Committee on Supply. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation, Olamilekan Adiola, representing Ogun West Senatorial District, led by the debate during the plenary. Senator Adiola explained that the extension was required to allow the federal government to complete the ongoing project and captured in the budget. Adiola claimed that the Nigerian government does not have enough resources to capture the expenditures proposed in the budget. the Appropriations Committee chairman urged his colleagues to support the extensions of the 2024 budget in order to avoid abandoned projects of the federal government in different parts of the country. The capital component of the 2024 budget was initially moved from December the 31st, 2024 to June the 30th, 2025, following a request by President Bola Tinubu.
To amend the Nigeria Police Trust Fund Act to increase the duration of the trust fund to, among other things, provide for continued training, provision of equipment and related facilities, as well as enhance the skills of personnel of the Nigeria Police. The overriding objective of the bill, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, is basically to amend Section 2, Sub 2 of the Extant Act to extend the duration of the trust fund as established by the Act.
Mr. President, I think that we must take the bull by the horn on this issue of appropriation. And I think that unless we take it very seriously up with the Ministry of Finance, this Parliament will become an embarrassment into itself. Mr. President, I am reluctantly supporting the extension of the 2024 capital component of the budget.
It's quite interesting. First, it's interesting because I believe that the National Assembly is not being taken into confidence by the executive arm of government on this very serious matter. This budget should have been implemented and everything done by December 31st, 2024. We extended it by another 6 months to the end of June this year. Right now, what is going on is that activities of the government are being stalled. Contractors who had even succeeded in completing their projects have not been paid. The system that they have adopted in getting payment done centrally from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation has woefully failed. I know of some efforts that have been made by the leadership of the Senate and maybe the leadership of the House to sensitize the Ministry of Finance and the relevant institutions of the executive arm of government about the danger this kind of thing poses, not just to the security of this country, but also to the whether the government actually is working. You know, people have committed their resources, conducted government work, did everything, but up to now their payments have been stalled. And there are so many projects, you know, in some ministry where even no work has been done in terms of going through the appropriation processes. So I think we need to know what really is happening.
The Appropriation Act of 2024 will come to an end by 30th of June 2025, this year. And due to some projects which are yet to be funded and implemented, we find it very important to come before these ALO chambers that this budget be extended by further 6 months, that is to end on 31st December 2025, to allow, among other things, the procurement process to be completed, money to be released for the implementation of the capital component of these budgets. And Mr. President, also let me say this, that we are only extending the capital component of the 2024 Appropriation Act as passed by the Senate. And this is the second time we are extending this budget. And it is our hope
that in the next 6 months, all procurement process, all cash releases to assist in the implementation of the capital component of this budget will be done within the shortest possible time.